All right, so I'm Austin. First off, how many athletes do I have in there? Figured. All right, so the hardest challenge college athletes face today on a daily basis is staying healthy and avoiding injury. So to help cope with this issue, a guy named Alan Jaeger produced a simple product that helped athletes competing at any level to avoid injury. So I'll start you off with a quote from the Jaeger Sport program. Our mission is to ensure that every athlete reaches their full potential and enjoys the process along the way. And two of the main key points that they hit on at Jaeger Sports is injury prevention, and they also do things for therapeutic reasons. So here, getting into this is a Jaeger band, and today I'll be going over it's kind of the more baseball oriented or softball oriented program that they do, but they also do a lot of programs that are for therapeutic reasons. So first, studies the P3 therapeutic labs in California have done studies over this, and it says that they maximize range of motion. And then for those of you who have Twitter, there's a Twitter account called the Prehab Guys, and they preach that prehab is more important than rehab. And for those of you that don't know what prehab is, it's doing all the exercises ahead of time before actually playing on the field or on the court to reduce the chance of injury and not have to do rehab. So next, let's move into the actual process of band work that we do on a regular basis. Can I get a volunteer? Thank you, Jacob. So basically, Jacob is going to be my anchor point, but this clip is your anchor point. Usually you put it on something that's pretty stable. I'd say Jacob's pretty stable, so we'll do for now. And first we're going to do 2-arm exercises. The 2-arm exercises are more oriented towards any athlete or for therapeutic reasons. Later on I'll get into throwing arm specific, which is more of your baseball and softball oriented exercises. So you're going to put the wrist straps on. Doesn't have to be too tight, but just something that can maybe. So, the first thing we got is over the head forearm extensions, and basically you just want to get it at a point where you have tension, but it's not to a point where it's going to be a workout, but more of a stretch. And so over the head forearm extensions is going to be right here, and what that's going to activate is your triceps and your scaps back here. And then the next one we'll move to is forward flies. Forward flies, we're just going to be in a motion right here. You're going to be a little more extended, but for the sake of this, and that's going to activate your chest and your rotator cuffs. And then conversely, we're just going to flip over and do reverse flies. And it's just the same thing going this way. And that's going to activate your scaps too. And then the last 2-arm exercise I'll be going over is side extensions. So side extensions is put one leg forward, and then the opposite arm, you're going to move over the top like this. And that's going to activate your lats up here and your obliques, which run from here to here. And you're going to do that on both sides. And now that the dual arm exercises are completed, let's move to the 1-arm exercise. So the 1-arm exercises are more throwing arm oriented, like I said. And the first one we're going to do is, first off, you take this one off. You can do your internal rotation. So it's going to be like, it's going to be right here, just simple back and forth. Like I said before, make sure that it's to a point where the tension isn't too much, where you're doing a workout instead of a stretch. And that's going to activate your internal rotator cuff, and this in your pectoral too. And that one's good for me personally because I have bad internal rotator cuff movement or mobility. And then conversely, we're just going to flip over again, and it's going to be the same thing, but external. And that's going to activate your external rotator cuff and pectoral as well. And then the last two we have is elevated internal rotation. And the whole point of elevating is to isolate your rotator cuff instead of getting your pectoral in as well. So you're just going to go up and down. And it's all about controlled movement and moving slow as opposed to just getting them done. And then conversely, like I said, we're gonna do the same thing. There's a trend here. It's gonna be external rotation. And like I said, it's gonna isolate your external rotator cuff mobility. And there's a couple more exercises, but I won't bore you guys anymore. So, as you can see, it's a very simple but important process when it comes to arm care and just athletics in general, which is obviously very beneficial to not only baseball players and softball players, but to all other athletes. And in conclusion, when I came here to the baseball program, I came in with a lot of arm soreness, and I didn't really take care of myself that well when I was in high school because you didn't really have to. But now that I started to take this more seriously, I feel like I'm not running into injury as much, and it's been very beneficial to me. So do I have any questions? Great. Thank you guys.